Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us today at the Elcom V11 webinar, Reach Your Peak Digital Performance. We're really excited to have everyone with us today, and we're really excited to show you some of the new features, functionality and enhancements in Elcom version 11. My name's Josh Anstey, I'm the Customer Solutions Director at Elcom, and I'm joined today by Tracy Schneider, our Software Development Director and the guru and brains behind version 11. We've got a jam-packed, exciting agenda today. We'll be giving you an overview of some of the new enhancements and features and modules in Elcom version 11. For those that are not familiar, I wanted to give you a quick introduction to Elcom and who we are. We're a digital transformation and digital workplace platform that enables you to deliver engaging experiences to internal users such as staff and external users such as prospective and existing customers, as well as partners. The Elcom platform makes it easy for you to manage and power your digital workplaces, intranets, websites, marketing and personalization, portals, collaboration and social, online training and e-learning, and mobile solutions. We provide end-to-end services from requirements analysis, design, implementation, development, integration, training, support, account management, hosting, and much more. Our vision is to help you deliver engaging, personalized digital experiences to your users. Today, we're going to give you an overview of our latest version, 11.0. So the first feature I want to cover today is Okta and the integration with Okta. So for those asking, what is Okta? Okta is an identity management provider that helps companies manage their employees' passwords by providing a single sign-on experience. The Okta Identity Cloud provides secure identity management with single sign-on, multi-factor authentication, lifecycle management and provisioning, and a lot more. What have we done in version 11? We've extended our SAML identity providers to seamlessly integrate with the Okta Identity Cloud. And there are many different use cases. And one of the current issues a lot of users find with SAML is that due to its just-in-time nature, we, as in Elcom CMS or your CMS platform, only knows about a user when they log in. And this means that the user database in the CMS is not going to be able to be pre-populated or to know when a user has been deprovisioned. Our new Okta connector solves these problems and a lot more. There are many different benefits and key benefits with using the Okta connector. The Okta connector connects through the Okta API and provides us the ability to import users from the Okta database, have periodic updates of user records, including the ability to auto-create new users, automatically deactivate deleted or deprovisioned users. So there's a lot of benefits for those that are interested in Okta using Okta to how you can integrate that to Elcom now. We're also really excited to announce that we've launched a Vimeo connector. So for those that aren't familiar, Vimeo is a popular video sharing platform, and they provide creators with tools and technology to host, distribute, and monetize videos. Many of our clients have been asking Elcom for this for quite a while, and we're really excited to be launching the Vimeo connector. And essentially, they want us to create another integration to another platform besides just YouTube, which we have had for some time. So our Vimeo connector is now here. Elcom's built our Vimeo connector into our document manager, for those that are familiar, as a video option. So you now have the ability to upload a video by simply entering a Vimeo URL. And you can view Vimeo videos either in a dynamic widget, so you can surface the video by entering a title and the keyword or description, and click to watch the video in your search results. So you can search for the video by entering a title and the keyword description, and click to watch the video from the search results, or in content. So you can add a link to the video by embedding it into the article, the Elcom page, and you can view that article or page and click to watch the video. Some of the key benefits, Vimeo provides you with an alternative and some might say more secure and commercially recognized option to YouTube. And it's now very, very easy for you to add the Vimeo connector and add Vimeo videos to your site. Another new module and feature we're really, really excited about announcing is our two-factor authentication. So for those that are not familiar with two-factor authentication and wondering what it is, two-factor authentication is a type or a subset of multi-factor authentication. And it's a method for confirming users' claimed identities by using a combination of two different factors, something they know, something they have, and or something they are. And so in version 11, we've introduced two-factor authentication into our base login page, and it works in the following way. Either with QR codes, and they can be used with an authentication app, and this will generate a single-use time-sensitive authenticator code for input when logging in, backup codes for when the user's phone is not available, and the ability to define a 4-digit PIN number for logging into the site. It can be turned on and off, and there are no overrides available for any users if it is turned on from a security perspective. It also allows administrators to reset a user's QR code. So there are many different use cases. Two-factor authentication has to be enabled by the administrator and the username and password entered by the client. And so the use case on first login and how that works is if you're entering the authenticator code, you would scan a QR code using the authenticator app on your phone and then enter the secret code generated by the app to be able to log into the site. If you're entering the PIN code, you enter a new 4-digit PIN code that you want to use for logging into the site. And then for subsequent login, if you're entering the authenticator code, you would enter the authenticator code generated by your authenticator app to be able to log into the site. And if you're entering the PIN code, you continue entering the same PIN you have. In case your phone battery is dead or phone's not working, you can't use the authenticator app, you can enter a backup code to be able to log into the site. There are many benefits. It provides both the end user and the site owner with greater security and peace of mind. It has also become an acceptable industry standard today, and a lot of clients are thinking about it or wanting to roll it out. And it's enabled from the entire site in our global site settings page. So you've got peace of mind knowing the whole site's covered there. In version 11, we've also launched a new acknowledgement module. So what is acknowledgements? What is the acknowledgements module, you might be asking? Acknowledgements require an end user to explicitly give their permission in order to continue interacting with the site. And so we've enhanced this or built this functionality in response to GDPR and to several requests from our clients. In version 11, we've added this module to address the need for compliance, and we've enhanced our current compliance module to now cater for users who need to opt in to all non-essential cookies. The functionality has been built so as to allow a message to display the first time a user hits the site. The message will ask for the user for their consent, and then once checked, the message will not display again for this user. Furthermore, the functionality has been developed with the ability to request that a user has read and accept or acknowledge the terms and conditions, an article compliance message, for example, before continuing on the site, with the smarts to then target a certain audience with this request. So there are many, many different use cases. One example is accepting cookies on the site. And so you want to display a specific message to the site visitor when they first land on the site on a specific browser. Accepting terms and conditions with the acknowledgement button at the end, so that only after you've ticked the acknowledgement button, you can continue your digital journey. The ability to list items that you need to acknowledge. So you can now display a list of items that the end user has to acknowledge on the home page and enable the end user to click, read, and acknowledge each item individually before the item actually drops off the list. And finally, listing all the items that have been acknowledged so they can actually see both past and present items that have been acknowledged. Some of the key benefits: acknowledgement makes it easy for visitors to consent to using their data. That now complies with European Union law that all their citizens must accept cookies on the site. It also helps members, suppliers, and other external audiences meet compliance needs. And the actions required for this module can be specifically targeted at groups and teams, which means if there's a specific group or team or users that need to see a specific acknowledgement, you can target those users there. The acknowledgements can also be very easily managed and reported on. Forms and workflow is really exciting. Some of the work the team have done in Forms and Workflow in version 11. For those that aren't familiar, Forms and Workflow are a really powerful out-of-the-box module in the Elcom platform. And Forms give you the ability to create online forms quickly and easily to capture data in a point and click and drag and drop way. And workflows let you implement a comprehensive order process for approval and review of forms with different baskets and different steps. There's a lot of work that's been done in version 11 with Forms and Workflow, and one of my personal favorite modules there. And some of those are the ability to add a digital signature field to a form, the ability to easily configure a form or a section of a form into a 1, 2, or 3 column layout without having to have any CSS knowledge, adhering to PCI compliance with credit card payments in forms, the ability to reopen a form after it has been completed in a workflow, and transferring the approval of a workflow to another person. So what are some of the use cases? So signing a form, maybe if someone's entering registration on a site and you want them to sign their signature, you've got the ability to actually sign a scribble signature there, 3-column form. So you can drop the form element onto the article or the page and then configure 2 or 3 columns or 1 column wherever you want, and it's all point and click and drag and drop. Reopening a leave form is a really good use case or an example. So you've submitted a form, it's gone through workflow, and then you need to reopen it because the leave date's changed. And transferring the approver of a form. So let's say, for example, a community member fills in a form to submit their event to your site. The person who approves the form is on leave, so approval is then transferred to a colleague or someone else. So forms and workflow are now more flexible than ever for publishers, and there are many benefits to this. Handling the digital signatures, the multi-column forms, the PCI compliance is really big, especially if you're doing online transactions or payments or donations for your site, and enabling a much smoother workflow process. We've also done some work with the TINYMCE accessibility. So what is TINYMCE for those asking? TINYMCE is a premium rich text editor and provides a range of features that enable you to have a more premium editing and experience in Elcom compared to your typical standard online editing tools. A lot of clients will typically use TINYMCE when accessibility is a very key requirement or mandate they have to work with. So what's new in version 11? We've moved to version 4.7 of TINYMCE, which has a mobile UI, image caption option, media embeds, and code snippets. And we've also added the ability to automatically call the accessibility checker when publishing content. So the key use cases I've mentioned is around accessibility of your site and accessibility of the content and easily being able to highlight any potential issues with the content you've created. And from a benefits perspective, it gives you the peace of mind knowing that your website or your site and the content you create meets accessibility standards. And because it will automatically check it, you don't need to rely on busy publishers to remember to check their site and the accessibility. In version 11, we've done some great work with the Events Manager module as well, which is also a module we've had in Elcom for a while. For those that aren't familiar, the Events Manager module is a complete event management system for organizing public and private events. It supports attendance limits, credit card payments, group bookings, alerts, SMS reminders, and much, much more. In version 11, we've made a few enhancements. We also get asked for the ability to allow people to purchase additional options as part of the registration process. And we're going to explain what we've done in version 11 to meet that requirement. We also get asked to make it easier to have a user-friendly URL for the events, and we've addressed that need as well. We've also set up the ability to allow the purchasing of multiple ticketing and pricing options. And I've got a few examples and use cases of this. So with price options, let's say, for example, there's 3 different price options for event, $25 a single, $50 a couple, $100 a family. You as a user select 2 singles, 1 couple, and 1 family, and it should order all that up to 200 before you actually process the payments. We've got a lot smarter functionality in how do you add that together. With food options as another example, if you register for a breakfast seminar you need to attend and you want to order some breakfast, maybe a roll as well as a salad, for example, and the roll's $5, salad's $3, it'll then do the calculation for that. And as an education example, let's say a teacher registers for an event and the entry for the event is free, but she also needs an education resource pack for each student she's bringing, there's a charge for that, there's a cost for that, and she selects a maximum of 50 education resources, it then calculates that accordingly. So some of the key benefits, there's additional flexibility in how you manage your events online by offering additional options on the registration forms. And the user-friendly URLs are going to make it much easier for people to remember. It's going to make it easier for you to promote the events on marketing material, and it's also going to help improve SEO. There's been a lot of work done with search refinements as well. So for those asking what are search refinements, they are refinements that allow users to refine your search results on the site in a meaningful way so that they can quickly find the results they're looking for. What's new in version 11? So historically, refinements was only available for 1 taxonomy at a time. And now in version 11, you can refine the results by multiple taxonomies, and you can also allow the user to change the sort order of the results. And there are a few different use cases, so multiple taxonomy. So for example, if you search for content with the keyword Elcom, and then refine to find all speeches and videos presented by a specific person, or for sorting, where you search for content with the keyword Elcom, and then change the sort order to show the latest items first, instead of how it's being ranked. And so a lot of benefits from a search and a user experience perspective, making it really easy to ensure the user finding the right information fast. We've made it easier than ever for you to do that for your audience so that their experience is so much better. And overall, visitors to your site are going to have a better experience, and it's going to lead to an improved customer experience, engagement with you, and hopefully, a more successful conversion rate if it's a website or portal, for example. With the publishing in Elcom, there's a lot of work we've done in version 11, and Tracy will touch on a few of these. So for those asking what is publishing, that's the functionality, the capability in Elcom where you can create articles and pages with our built-in content editor and the intuitive Microsoft Word-like environment provides non-technical users with the ability to author content, create tables, apply styles, create hyperlinks, import multimedia assets, and more. What's new in version 11? So we've got an updated look and feel to the administration area on the dashboard, the ability to drop a feature-rich folder tree element into your article, allowing users to navigate through and manage your website's folder structure within your front-end pages. And you can also manage the folder structure as well as articles, documents, and images within that selected folder. We've also added bulk drag and drop, and we've improved the usability for folders. So with the use cases, now if you want to bulk drag and drop multiple articles into a folder, you can do that in one go, or multiple folders into a parent folder, you can do that in one go. From a managing content perspective, very easy now to display those folders on the front end to manage the content. And finding a folder, if you have a subfolder with a name that's very similar to another name, we've made it a lot easier to actually find and search for that. You've also got the ability to scroll right to the folder in the tree after it's been edited. Key benefits around the publishing: it's now easier than ever to provide a better experience for your publishers while making it easier for administrators to manage publishers. And you can show publishers only a subset of folders that are relevant to them. You can quickly move content between folders and ensure documents are uploaded to the right folders. Before I hand over to Tracy, I do want to give you a sneak peek into the corporate directory module. We've done a lot of work to enhance that. And so a bit of a sneak peek here. What is the corporate directory module? So corporate directory is the ability for you to search, filter, and browse the staff directory or organizations within global site search results. You can add organization charts, integrate with Active Directory, and export results. What's new in version 11? The ability to build up a library of corporate directory templates. Use the templates to change the displayable corporate directory elements and charts. There's a new organization chart element to drop anywhere. There are additional configuration options for the org chart, and the ability to specifically exclude users or groups from the search results. And finally, configure the fields for keyword searching. So I'm not going to go into that in too much detail. We won't demo this one, but I do want to show you a couple quick screenshots to show you what the corporate directory module can look like and the flexibility in setting up the org chart with the different levels there. And there's obviously different templates now in terms of the actual look and feel. So that's an overview of Elcom version 11. And I'm now going to hand across to Tracy to jump in and give everyone a demo of some of the functionality.
Hi everyone, I'm going to kick off by showing you how we use the acknowledgement module to satisfy the GDPR requirements that users now agree and consent to using cookies on the site. So you'll see now on the page, I've got a message at the bottom asking you to opt in and agree. That's using an acknowledgement element, which I've dropped into an article and embedded that into the master page. So it displays everywhere on every page on your site that the user comes to. And when they click to agree, the message disappears. And basically, when you go through the site again on any other page, you won't see that message again. The other way to use the acknowledgement module is to target information and information that needs to be acknowledged to certain areas of your business. So, for example, let's say the lawyers and the legal team have decided to update the privacy policy on the site. The legal team decided they want all publishers to read that updated policy. So they send out an acknowledgement request to all of the publishers, which lands up on a to-do list. So I'll show you that to-do list, and I come in the morning and I can see the privacy policy's been updated, and I basically need to read that. Now, this is just an acknowledgement stream, which you could place on the home page if you wanted to, so the user could see that the first thing. You could even put a little icon somewhere on the site which alerts you if there's something in your to-do list. There's an add to calendar function, which you can now download and import into Outlook, so it can remind you if you have to do something by a certain date. If I click on that, it shows me the text of the article and then asks me to acknowledge that I've read this. If I click read, it displays a message, and these messages are all configurable. At the moment, it says, thank you for reading the policy. Now, there are different ways of getting it to display. You can do it as a banner ad at the bottom, like you just saw now. You can actually just have a button somewhere in the content of the article. And the other thing you could do is you could do it in a lightbox effect. And you could even make that button clicking mandatory so that the user has to click to continue. So you would do that in the terms and conditions scenario where you want the user to accept terms and conditions before they continue doing what they need to do. We've built in a management functionality. I'll just flick into the admin area here. You'll see there's an acknowledgements library that we've built in. So basically, the administrator at any time can see all acknowledgements that have been set up on the site. You can manage it from a publishing point of view, but you can also do a whole lot of reporting, which is really good. So you can slice and dice the information as you want. You can report on who has acknowledged, who hasn't acknowledged, in what date, etc., and which users and groups. So you can really get as detailed as you want for the information in the acknowledgement module. Just to note, this type of functionality is for logged in users only. Okay, moving on to Vimeo. So Vimeo is very similar to how we've done our YouTube connector, in that you upload it to the document library and then you can embed it anywhere in your content. So you see here's a Vimeo video embedded in my content. You can also surface it in widgets in the search. So I have a little widget here, which is a media widget. And what I'm going to do is jump into the admin area, into the doc library, and I'm going to upload a new Vimeo file. So I have a Vimeo file here, which happens to be a freight file. I'm going to select my media folder. Select external URL. Select the Vimeo URL. Enter the URL. And if you click to fetch the Vimeo data, it basically goes direct to Vimeo, fetches all the information and as much information as is in Vimeo. So you can see the title and the brief description is brought across. Click to add that. And if I go back to my media widget, you can see the video appearing there. There's my freight video and you can watch it on the site. Moving on to forms and workflow. I'm going to show you two forms. One is a very simple contact us form, which is a one-column form. Now let's say the user, the publisher decides that they want to change that into a two-column form. Previously, you needed to have a lot of style sheet experience or contact Elcom to change that form for you. What you can do now is simply with a click, change that to 2 columns, click OK, and you'll see it automatically moves the fields around, and then you can drag and drop fields as you want. I'm just going to cancel that because what I want to do is show you another use case where you have a one-column form, but you want to add an address panel in, and you want the address panel to be 2 columns. I'm going to call this address, and I'm going to override the default for the form just for this panel. And if I start dragging information into the panel, here's the one field. If I drag another field, you can see it automatically now starting to build up in a 2-column format. So really easy to do yourself. No need to contact Elcom anymore. And also, so you've got 1, 2, or 3 column options depending on how you want to structure your form. The second form I want to show you is, if I just go back to the Contact Us page, the second form is a quote request form that I've built up. Now, this form actually goes through workflow, but what I wanted to specifically show you on the form is our new signature field that you can either draw. So I'm using my mouse here. If you were using a phone, you could obviously use your phone touchscreen, or you can type it. So if I just enter my name here, it builds up a signature for me. And if I click submit, that'll save it as an image into the database to view at a later point. These two options here, type it or draw it, are configurable, so you can turn them both on, or you can decide you only want people to type their name in because you don't like the drawing functionality. So it's up to you. Either way, forms can now be signed digitally, which is really good. This quote request that goes into workflow, I'll just jump into workflow in the admin area and I'll show you some new functionality that a lot of clients have requested in workflow. So here is a quote request form that's been submitted into workflow. It's in progress and John Smith, the basket owner. Now let's say John Smith is sick today and this quote request has become urgent and needs to be approved. What you can do is you can reassign the approver to someone else. Let me select Amy, reassign, and you'll see that Amy is now the basket owner. The other thing you can do is if I view all completed items in workflow, I've got project ABC, which is completed, but there was a mistake on the form and I just want to change one mistake and then resubmit it back. So you can reopen the item in workflow and you can decide at which point in the workflow you want to add it in. So you can just go to the last completed basket, or if necessary, right the way to the beginning of the workflow. So if I select the last completed basket, you'll see it's not completed anymore and it moves to the in progress section. Okay, on to TINYMCE. Now we have upgraded TINYMCE and it's a new version which has got some nice new features, but what I specifically want to show you on TINYMCE is the accessibility checker, which is now done automatically. The problem with the accessibility checker before was that publishers always needed to remember to click on the accessibility check button. And we're all busy, we've all got lots to do, and if you forget, then you could publish content that is not accessible. So what we've done now, we've built the check-in automatically, and I'm going to just make sure that I set my default edit to TINYMCE. I'm going to select a piece of text and change the text color to something that I know is against accessibility requirements because it's too light. If you click publish, you see the accessibility checker kicks in, and then it's similar to Word and spell check where you can go through each of the items and fix them up as you go along. So while we're on publishing, I just want to flick to the admin area and show you that in 11, we've had added a new cleaner look and feel. So you can see we've just changed a lot of the icons, made it a lot fresher. If you're upgrading from a previous version to 11, there's no need for more training because we haven't actually changed a lot of functionality from that point of view. It's just a nicer and cleaner look and feel. We've added a few usability improvements on this folders page. So the one is the ability to drill down and scroll straight to the article or folder that you're interested in. So if I search for an article called API, which I know is very deep in the folder structure, I click search. I find the article that I want. You'll see it scrolls straight down to that article and then I can do what I want. The other thing is that this station over here on the right-hand side with the actions is also docked, so it stays right there and no need to keep scrolling up and down when you've got a lot of content. The other thing, as Josh mentioned, that we've added is the ability to bulk drag and drop. So if you have to drag 100 articles into another folder, you would have previously had to do it one by one, whereas now you can just multi-select articles and folders at the same time and move them to their new home. The other thing we've added in terms of publishing, sorry, I'll just go out of here when I was busy with my TINYMCE. The other thing we've added is an easier way for publishers to manage their content on the front end of the site. So no need to continually take them to the back end of the site to see all the folders and documents and images. We've got a new element called My Content, which lets publishers see in a folder tree view all folders and articles as well as images and documents that they have access for publishing. So if I drill down into the product, and I can see all my documents, and you can see here, I'm now seeing in the wind energy folder or the wind energy article, as well as a wind farm image which exists in this folder. If you click to expand wind energy, you can see information about that article, including a thumbnail as well as a short description, who's checked it out, and the same with the wind farm image. You can see the thumbnail and the relevant details. So it's one way to see all your content associated with your folders, your subfolders, your articles, your images, and your documents. If you select a folder, there are a whole lot of publishing tools available to you. So you can upload new images, edit images, you can add new articles, etc. All depending obviously on the current user's access, as well as how you configure the element. You may decide not to make some of these options available. There is also content management and publishing options available on articles and images and documents, where you can edit or delete or simply view from the tree. So a good way to get your publishers to stay on the front end area of the site. Moving on to events. So two new things, the major things we've done to events. You'll see I've got a clean power workshop, got rid of the old .aspx nasty URL, and we now have a user-friendly URL. Now, those URLs have been structured to be the event name, the date, as well as the location. However, if you want to change that structure, that's totally up to you. This is just the default structure that you will get with the product. If I register for this event, just confirm that it's me. I'll show you the functionality in the food options that Josh was referring to earlier, where you can register for an event for free and then decide to have 2 bacon and egg rolls for breakfast, a coffee, and you can see it building up the price, and then you can eventually submit that, which will ask you to confirm, and then proceed to payment. So that's the resource, event resource functionality we built in version 11. Okay, moving on to search. I'm just going to search for power, and I'll just show you quickly the new search refinement element. Here you can see that users can change the sort order, so I may want to sort by date and see the most recent items first. And the other thing you can do is to refine by multiple taxonomy. So I might decide I want to see all marketing and promotions that are project related. And if you refine that, it starts drilling down, and no need to do the one-by-one clicking that the product offered in earlier versions. The last thing I'm going to cover is two-factor. So there's 2 ways to set up two-factor on the site. You can either have a QR code which you use as an authenticator app, or you can just do a PIN code that a user has to set up. So you can have both on the same site if you want, because you might have your high-end users that are used to using authenticator apps, and then you may also have, you know, those old users that are not using mobile phones, not sure how to use authenticator apps, and they just want to use a PIN number. For the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to use a PIN number, because for security, I don't want to show the QR code functionality. So I'm going to log in as a user that's been set up on the site already. I have a login, but I haven't logged into the site yet. My name's Amy. I'm going to click to log in. And because it's the first time I'm logging in, it asks me to set up a 4-digit code, which I'm going to do. I click to save. And then it asks me to complete my login, check the code. And then you can see it's logged me in as Amy. The next time Amy comes in, there's no need to set anything up. It's simply a case of entering your username and password, logging in, and then just entering the 4-digit code that was set up. Code, and Amy's in. Okay, I'm going to hand back to Josh.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Tracy, and really awesome to see all the features and functionality in action. As you can see, there's some amazing work Tracy and the team have done in Elcom version 11. So to wrap up today's webinar and presentation of some of the features in Elcom version 11, we wanted to jump into a Q&A, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as possible. Quite a lot of questions have come through, so we will do our best to answer as many as possible. If we don't get through them all, we'll get back to you individually. Okay, there's going to be quite a few to go through, so we'll jump through quite a few of them. So the first question, and Tracy, I'll pass this one across to you, is what type of sites can two-factor authentication be added to?
So you can add two-factor into any site that has login functionality. So it's just an extension of login. So if users are logging into your site, you can configure your site that there's an extra step.
Okay, cool, awesome. So another question, we're on an older version of Elcom and are very keen to upgrade to version 11. Is it easy to upgrade? I'll jump in with that one. So yes, it is easy to upgrade. Obviously, it depends on what version you're on. It is easy to upgrade, and we'll work with you and guide you through the process. Our team have a pretty standard, tried and tested process for upgrading. So if you are interested in upgrading to version 11, please get in touch with us or speak to your account manager, and we can look at scheduling that for you and working out what's involved for you. Another question over here is, will we be having a webinar to cover the intranet features? So that's a good question. Yeah, a lot of the features we've covered today are website focused or external focused, I guess. Yeah, we will be having another webinar to cover those as well. So we'll be scheduling that at a later date. Another question over here. What SAML fields are new?
So we don't actually have new SAML fields, but what we do have is the ability to now configure the SAML mapping field. So before it was pretty hard-coded what fields were translated into what fields on our system. Now that's completely configurable on your end.
Okay, cool, perfect. Thanks for that question there. Another question, can you turn two-factor authentication on for some users and security groups and not for others, or is it only a site-wide function?
If you turn two-factor on your site, it's a site-wide function, so there's no override currently. We made that decision when we were deciding how we wanted the module to work, because we decided if you want two-factor, if you want a more secure site, then you need everyone to be logging in securely.
Okay, great. Thanks, Tracy. And another question, does users re-editing the form within a workflow once submitted also work for articles that have been submitted to the workflow?
Yes, it does. So it will work for any type of content you've got in workflow, forms, articles, events, documents as well.
Another question, we really like the new forms and workflow functionality. If we upgrade to version 11, will we automatically get access to it? So that's a really good question. Good to hear you like forms and workflow functionality. So the answer is yes, you do. So forms and workflow are part of the Elcom-based platform. So if you do upgrade to version 11, you will automatically get access to the new forms and workflow functionality, such as the ability to easily create the multi-columns and a whole bunch of things that Tracy showed. Another question over here, can the Events Manager module process payments?
Yes, it can. So we already currently integrate with quite a few payment gateways. And what we've also added is a PCI compliant type of payment where you are taken to the bank site to enter your details there, but it's seamless to the user, so they do it all on the same page. So yes, you can take payments for events.
Okay, awesome. Another question, when will version 11 be available? So version 11 is available right now as we speak. So yeah, very excited to let everyone jump onto version 11 and start upgrading. So if you are interested in version 11 and upgrading and moving to version 11, yeah, get in touch with us right away or your account manager, and we can talk about that straight away for you. Another one over here is, can the search index your documents as well as your content?
Yes, so the search will index the document title, and it will also crawl through the content and rank it accordingly.
Okay, perfect. There's a lot of questions over here to go through. We're definitely not going to get through them all. It's amazing how many there are actually. Okay, where do we start? Another question over here, just to jump in. Am I able to drag and drop documents between folders?
Yeah, so using the new content management article element that I showed you, where you could see all your folders and articles, documents, and images in the same page, you can drag and drop any type of content, and you can drag and drop multiple as well.
Okay, perfect. And I think we'll wrap up maybe with just one other question, and the others we haven't gotten to, we'll get back to you individually. Last question we'll wrap up with here, is the new corporate directory sneak peek rolled out as part of version 11?
Yes, so corporate directory is now part of version 11. So if you have the corporate directory module, then you will be getting all the new features associated with it.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. Thank you, Tracy, for a fantastic demo, and well done to Tracy and the whole team on an awesome release of Elcom version 11. We're really, really excited by the registrations and the interest today, the attendance, the questions, the discussions we've been having with clients and prospective clients globally on version 11. We're really excited for everyone to jump in and start using it and start benefiting from it. So thank you very much, everyone. And I think something that's really important with version 11, and I think the interest is a lot of the enhancements, features, and functionality, they've all come from you, our clients and partners that we work with, and that's really driven the roadmap, and that's really important to us as a team. So please keep providing feedback and suggestions and ideas because we really do take that on board. And as you can see today, and I think the attendance and interest resonates and reflects that as well, that your feedback is really important to us as we build Elcom, the business and the platform and the product. So please keep providing that feedback. We do take it on board. And we will be having a future webinar that focuses on some of the intranet and collaboration, digital workplace and portal functionality too. So keep an eye out for that. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and we look forward to working closer with you and your teams on your digital experiences. Thank you.